What's up, geeks and gamers? My name is Drementfh, and welcome to Thorium Gaming, and this is the Reclamation. So, with the giant patch that dropped and updated all the siege mechanics and a bunch of the AI and a ton of different things, wasn't able to salvage what was left of the saves for the rest of us should, and they actually cancel out one of our mods too, so we don't need that anymore. The one button respec. There is now a respec option in the game. So, instead of all that, we're going to play as the dwarves this time. We went from Chaos Dwarves to the Good Dwarves, and we are going to be playing a campaign based around the reclamation of Karak Eight Peaks. It's going to be a little bit fun, because I wanted to play a good aligned race. We've already done the High Elves in Total War Warhammer 2. The other option would have been the Empire or Kislev. Now, I'm terrible at playing Kislev, absolutely horrible. The Empire, it's kind of a slaughter dome up there, and I wanted us to be able to have our own theme for this instead of relying on the game to provide it for us. To that end, we are going to try and wipe out Clan Moors. We are going to try and wipe out the greenskins in the Badlands, and we're going to recapture Karak Eight Peaks, which is the objective for this, the greatest of grudges. So that's going to be our goal. Wipe out Clan Moors, wipe out the greenskins in the Badlands, take back Karak Eight Peaks. That's when we'll consider everything done. So we're going to try and do that, all things considered. Alright, so we've got the grudge. We got to get Karak Eight Peaks back. We don't need to know how they play, because I'm actually half decent at the dwarves. Half decent. So we'll see how that goes. Yes, we have that one. Perfidious Sneak Grudge. Win 5 battles against the Crooked Moon clan of Orcs Goblins. Mad Rodent, Clan Morris, we want to take care of them. And engage the enemy. Defeat an army belonging to the Broken Nose faction. So I went with Clan Angrud because, well, they were the one that we couldn't wipe out from Hushut Rising. And apparently this is where Krell did something. Sorry, it's not spook. So, what actually has happened with Clan Angrud is Karak Eight Peaks, if we remember, is all the way over in the mountains over here. This is Karak Eight Peaks. This is what we have to reclaim, and until we do, we have 50% extra upkeep. So, it's not good for us. We start with Zaraskill, which is just the smallest little area. There is an advantage to this, we'll get to it, but first let's get additional Dwarven Warriors there. And when it gets to level 3, we'll make this our Ranger Outpost too. It'll be above ground anyway, so it fits thematically. So Baelgar's family was exiled from Karak Eight Peaks when the Skaven and the Orcs and Goblins all came in and just trashed the place. So we are going to try and reclaim it. His advantage is we have Ghost Ancestors that cannot be killed off, that are going to help us out. For right now, they're all going to join our army, because there's one of each type, I believe. We've got a Master Engineer, we've got a Thane, a Runesmith. Okay, we got 2 Thanes. But, with 2 Ghost Thanes in there, we can go in. First things first, though, let's go to our research, and recruitment cost for Dwarves and Miners. We're going to be doing a lot. Now, our plan for almost every dwarf army is to have a solid core block of infantry, backed up by with either quarrelers with great weapons and artillery, or rangers and artillery. Dwarven artillery is amazing, but if we look, there is a ton in here, so we're going to have to go through it as we do. Now, we can have control or Khazid subsidies to start off with. We're going to go with the Khazid subsidies because we're going to need more money. And we're going to go after Rend. And I did say in this particular campaign we are going to try and fight more battles. We do have 1 unit of hammers in this, but it's counterbalanced by the fact that we have miners as well. Miners are pretty useless. Our hammers are going to be our center line with our dwarf warriors. Our rangers are going to sit behind them and shoot out. We have a runesmith and an engineer, so we have more range slash, quote, magical, end quote, ability. And Baelgar himself is a titan in melee combat. So Not a great army to start off with, but far, far better than some things that we could come with. And of course, having our Ancestor Ghosts with us is pretty decent right now. They're going to be going off and doing other things later on, but we want to start leveling them up as quickly as possible here. Dealing with Rend and his little Orc army is only the start of what we have to do. Once we capture all these places up in the mountains, we are going to have to try, and I do mean try, to be on good terms with the mercenaries near us, the border princes, and the wood elves. If push comes to shove, we can go up into the mountains, up near the Grey Mountains, and take out the sneaky gits there, which is Nasha. Why can I never remember his name? Anyway, it's the Goblin War Boss, the biggest and greatest. He's also racing to Karak Eight Peaks, so he's probably going to be one of the things we should probably take out in this, just to make it easier. Add another war goal for us, why not? That said, let's look at what we got here. So, the Wolf Riders, kind of worrying. Not gonna lie about that, they are kind of bad. But again, we don't really need to care about much. So let's get our Dwarven line set up. So the Hammerers are elite guard for the king. We're gonna hold our miners kind of in reserve after a fashion. We're gonna leave them up here in case the Wolf Riders come around. I'm not worried about the left flank, because that's where we're going to put two ghost lanes. I'll spread them out just a little bit more. Baelgar is going to come up front here. Actually, let's put him in the center to get his aura. Our engineer here. And our runesmith can go right there, because his runes are going to come in handy. Now we've got the Rune of Speed, the Rune of Wrath and Ruin, and the Rune of Oath and Steel. So we either get armor, we get fire damage, large explosions, strong versus single unit, so that's an explosion based on him, or we get melee attack speed, or melee attack and just straight speed. Our Rangers, on the other hand, we're going to try and spread them out a little bit, and we're going to take skirmish mode off, just so they don't run away. Let's let the battle commence. This one's heavily weighted in our favor. Now, they did give the AI a bit more intelligence, so I don't know if they're going to try and advance on us or what's going to go on here. Let's see if we can advance just a bit. And put some hurt downrange. Baelgar is an awesome hero, though, so I'm not too worried. That's our engineer. So we can get there, and we'll put our miners up over here, just in case those Wolf Riders try to come back. It's nice to see the AI not just completely try to charge us. I'll let the engineer go up and see if he can start shooting. There we go, we're within range now. One unit of Wolf Riders, they're just goblins. So they should, in theory, be able to take that. I'll take skirmish mode off him. Let's get Baelgar involved in there. Alright, we're not doing too bad. And Baelgar himself actually has Revenge Incarnate, an augment around him, and a Mighty Oathstone. So now let's send these warriors to deal with them. And let's get on the charge for these. So I have a feeling we're going to need to send out assistance up here. Not too worried about those Wolf Riders. This battle should go pretty easily. Alright, where are our hammerers? Let's get them to come around behind and then engage from the rear on those guys. Well, actually get the... Those warriors do the same thing. Baelgar, why are you not chasing him down? Let's turn these rangers a little bit. I'm not worried about losing miners, to be perfectly honest. Miners are practically useless to us right now. At least the ones without the blasting charges. Because blasting charges actually do pretty well in siege battles, but not so much on the open field. Alright, so 31 losses, mostly miners. Our Thanes didn't do too much, our engineer did a little bit, but the hammerers are, again, they're hammerers. They're a higher tier unit that can just walk around, well, hammering things. Nice little picture of Festus the Leech Lord there. Alright, so we have two options. We can drink to victory, increase all buildings in income from all buildings by 10% in the local province, growth and control, or Oath Gold and Treasury. We're getting the Biting Blade too. Let's go with drink to victory. That wipes Rend out. Now, Karak Bufdar should be... Ah yes, he did get the Biting Blade, so we're good there. And we won, so there's another 500 gold. And we should be able to take Karak Bufdar with no issues. It's mostly just goblins. Again, the Wolf Riders are the only extant damage that we got to deal with. So we'll go in, fight that. Take care of it. Just have to make sure that I keep my sugar rush going, because I got 2 episodes to record today, because I will not be back in time to record for next week. That's why this one's even coming out late here. My real life schedule has been a little all over the place, and it's going to be busy for the next tiny little bit. So, got to keep my energy levels up, so if I sound tired next week, well, there's a reason for that. Alright, so we've got the Wolf Riders off to the right there. Again, we're going to try and time them up with miners, because we don't really care about our miners. Let me just title the campaign, No Miners Allowed. Okay, that's a bad joke even by my standards, so I apologize. I'm still going to keep doing it, because I am a dork, but leave it there. And we'll get our Rune Lord where he can do the most good. Now, the only advantage to miners is they can deploy out here. So, if we deploy them out here, maybe we can lure the Wolf Riders in. I am not afraid of goblins in any way, shape, or form. But, let's advance a little bit and see if we can get our Rangers in range. And keep our lords and heroes up front. We do want to level them up as much as we can. And the ancestors do have names, but we're not going to be focusing on them as much. We're going to be trying to focus on our own heroes that we create as we go along. There's lots that we can do. But we're really going to try and take a vested interest in both the battles and in our character development this time. We kind of got sloppy and lazy. Well, I got sloppy and lazy in the last playthrough, so we're going to do better this time. Much better. Let's move these dwarf miners up. These are essentially like Skaven slaves or Bretonnian peasants or, well, any of the other tat that we kind of come across in the other armies. And while our actual force moves up, alright, so the Wolf Riders did exactly what we wanted them to. You're going to shoot over there. Let's take your range limits off. Now what we're going to do is we're going to charge these warriors in. We're going to be highly aggressive, especially with our hammerers and our other elite units later on. Baelgar is going to charge in with them, and we're going to try and slot our... Well, you should come over here and fight this one. There we go. And we'll keep you in the fight. So onward with a Dawi charge. Alright, so we are stuck in.
No shoddy contraptions here.
Oh, that's our engineer. It's not the one we wanted. I wanted our runesmith to put one of his hammer runes onto our armies there. And of course, the goblins are already breaking and running.
The clans unite! Pick your targets well!
Now, is he using a crossbow or a pistol? Oh, that's our rune lord.
Nothing can stop us!
There we go. Ah, it's a pistol. Alright, so this garrison is falling rapidly. Let's have our hammerers turn around and mash these orc boys in the rear. Let's just speed it up. We know this battle's not going to do too much. That'll give us our starting major city, which is going to be great. For 16 losses, we killed 325 orcs and goblins, so I count that as a win. Again, the hammer is just doing work. 107, over 100 kills. I'll just take the 100 as the base amount. We're going to occupy this city. Alright, your kin entrenched deep within Karak Eight have received word of your grit during your expansion. They hail the rightful king of Eight Peaks and offer their loyalty and aid for your mission to reunite the everlasting realm. Right, Karak Eight will be given the opportunity to confederate with them. Get diplomatic relations or take tribute. You know what? Let's actually confederate with them. That gives us an awful lot to do. Now, Karak Eight is our major capital that we have to go on. And Baelgar is going for it. We're going to get Route Marcher, and we're going to get Obstinacy, because that's good for dwarves. Now, this is also just a minor settlement, so we're going to get the lumber mill, because we can. And let's get some dwarves with great weapons. More infantry for right now. As for our Alaric Ranulfson, because this is our allies up here, we have taken these two places without a fight, and now it's time to reap the benefits. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to dismantle this army, because we don't need it. And we're going to focus entirely on getting Karak Eight, and then we are going to push hard. But our commandments are available because we have one full territory, because it's just the two now. And we are going to go with High King's Tribute. And we're going to remove that building there, and you have 10 turns until you grow, because we want this to be an effective staging ground.
Ironhammer.
Alright, now the big thing is we're going to have to pay attention to
Wamrag.
our
You
diplomacy.
may speak before my shield jaw.
So, Karak is on our side. We need them on our side. Because Vicious Gobspit, while he's there, is just a savage orc, but we're not at war with him yet. The sneaky gits are up here. With
Yes.
Skarsnik. That's the word. Skarsnik. And we want
Talk
as
at me in
much
your crude language if you.
to do as we can. So we've got non-aggression pacts and trade deals with
The
Zufbar.
Empire. All right. So
Let's get a trade deal
have
with
a
the Border
proposal?
Princes.
We are willing to hear it.
Take
I
the
will.
money. We need the money and we need the settlements. So
Yes.
whatever we can do in that
Who
regard,
calls?
we're going to do.
Aye.
We are only currently at war with the Broken Nose, and
Sigmar's
we'll be able to
will.
deal with them shortly. Now, Averland is kind of our shield outside of the mountains, and the Black Venom are right there, and they are starting to dislike us. What would it
Approach and
cost?
make your offer,
848,
but I make no
and we have
promises
the
to
money
my
for it.
assent. So be it.
We'll take that, and that'll start improving our relationships with them.
By the comet.
And Balthazar Gelt is going up because of our actions against the Broken Nose.
Those who
Sarsasone?
displease me do not live to tell of it.
Yeah, we're still going to be dealing with them over time. But that is our first turn in, and let's move on to the next. Just got to keep pushing onward. Now, the Savage Orcs I'm not too worried about. Vicious Gobspit's always been kind of a pain, but it's not something I have to really worry about. If you hear any, like, clicks or anything, it's actually my phone going up because, a beautiful girlfriend is deciding to text right now, so gotta kind of reply, and it's nice to conclude. She might be popping up on the channel now and then, because, well, she's awesome, because, yeah, she's really awesome. I'm not biased, you're biased. Alright, so the Black Venom is now gone. The Golden Order's taking care of it. And we have a Stonemason on King Lum.
Lord of the England.
Now, these guys are pretty awesome. So we've got increased mobility, boost income, and wound already. Now, there's the new button, Reset All Skills. It wounds them for 3 turns, and then they come back. We're not going to be doing that right now. What we're really going to be doing is one of our Thanes is going to leave our army here eventually. I think it's going to be Halkenhoff Stonebeard is probably going to go out on his own at some point. But for right now, we are going to try and get everything settled. So, Cinderblast Shell is awesome. Causes fire damage, powerful explosion, strong versus multiple combatants. Barak Var Handshake gives sharpshooter ammunition for increased range and anti-infantry. Okay. So that's our options here. We are going to be using him to snipe a ton. Now, range is more important than anything else on our Master Engineers. We're going to be using him to build up to a Zufbar 42 pounder. It's a wave effect, and it's really good. All right, so King Lum as a Thane, we can get training, which is very important. He's already got the baseline stuff up to Foe Seeker. We're going to do training to start with. Every fight he's in, he's going to give our units more experience. They changed that recently in the update. Now we have all of the runes that we could go there. We've got Hardened Armor and Sharpened Weapons. But I think we're going to go Master of the Forge for Mr. Ironbrow. And we're going to do the same here, training, just while he's in the unit.
Baelgar.
They are already building
It shall be done.
an army up there.
You have my hammer.
We need to be in range to take it for the next turn. So Baelgar's army is going to book it. Now, we're going to have problems with the Wood Elves as this campaign
In the
goes.
still watches of the night.
They don't like Karak Norn, which is going to hurt us a little bit. But they do like the fact that we're at war with the Broken Nose and against Clan Scryer. Now, Wissenland
Greetings on behalf
we'll
of the
take a
Empire.
non-aggression with.
Sigmar's will.
They're Sons of the
The
Empire, so
Empire.
we're fine. And
Do
Talia,
not treat me as a friend.
On it.
if we have a non-aggression pact with them, that gives us a buffer on our southern border. They can deal with Clan Scryer, and it's not a
Ready.
pain to us.
Yes? Who calls?
One rug.
Alright, so that sets us up pretty good there. Karak Eight, we're going to get the iron, because as it goes up, that's going to be making us more money. We're going to be focused on Baelgar's army almost exclusively for a while, and then we'll deal with everything else. And we could use the forge to start making some items and stuff. So we'll figure it out. It's weird seeing a triple-digit enemy count now. Alright, so let's look at what they got. We don't know there, and yeah, it's gonna be tough.
Our ancestors would be proud.
Alright, right now it's declaring it a Pyrrhic victory. Let's get a battering ram and a couple of siege towers. And we will let the siege continue for a couple of turns. What we have to pay attention to is, wow, Pirates of Sartosa are coming up. Yeah, they could be bad. What we need to focus on, as I was saying, is we need to figure out who our allies and our enemies, allies and enemies are. So they are at war with the Disciples of the Maw, which is these bad boys under Scrag the Slaughterer.
Ready.
Zufbar is up against nobody that we can see. And
Onward.
you guys are up against... Ooh, Arguillion. Not good for us. Just have to keep an eye on it. We're not at war with Anaressa, but we'll see. And let's actually go to the forge so we can look at it. So with the amount of oath gold, we can get some minor stuff, but as we start getting more resources, we can eventually get up to things like Elfbane and Starbreaker. Starbreaker is amazing. Heroic Killing Blow, Discouraged Effect, Weapon Strength, Melee Attack, it's beautiful. If we can get some Obsidian and start getting some oath gold in, that's great. But we also get great armor, like Star Metal Armor and Alaric's Armor. Basically what we're doing. But we can also disenchant, would that be the right word? Items that we've created to turn them back into oath gold. So we can basically create a custom rune set or armor set for one of our lords as they go up. But again, we are going to be looking at getting solid infantry blocks, preferably with hammers or iron breakers, backed up by archers and artillery. Dwarven artillery is amazing. Oh, Talea got destroyed by Aranessa's Salt Spite. So now we got to be careful on that front, because it could go horribly, horribly wrong for us. But now that we have that, we are going to go with Gather the Throngs. Actually, we're going to go for Levy Missile Warriors. Recruitment cost, recruitment cost, recruitment cost. Eventually, we're going to have Thunderers, and I've gotten better at using them. I'm still pretty bad, but I'm not as bad as I used to be. Let's check our diplomacy while we have a chance.
Yes.
Yes.
So,
Alright, so getting that
Greetings, stranger.
military
Indeed.
access pact with the border princes is going to be great.
yes?
Because if we can start moving through their stuff easily, we can go down and just smack these orcs or these ogres out and start moving. Now, this is all held by the Bloody Hand, and then of course we can get up to Karak 8 or Karak up here. If ever peak ever falls, we are taking it before we drive south. That is vitally important. But we are also not going to be foolish and allow our bloodlust to get in the way. So I'm going to be controlling almost every fight in the campaign I just want to make sure that I can win them. So I might get better at this. And we'll see how it goes. I always have problems keeping a good relationship with the Wood Elves. They're kind of capricious. A little bit of jerks, if I'm honest. That's a decisive victory. We have the battering ram. We have one set of siege towers. They have trolls in there. Our hammers can take that out easy enough. Let's let the siege go one more turn, and then we'll go in with all the siege towers. Our Book of Grudges is pretty good right now. Our severity is only at 12. As that goes up, you start getting penalties and everything on all your stuff. So that's not good. Win battles, capture and occupy, Karak 8 Peaks, of course, and win 5 battles against Clan Moors. I wish we had more grudges, like, it was easier, but again, early days for the campaign. We'll see how it pops out. And it should be decent. And over 20 nations have fallen so far. This is pretty typical at the start of a campaign, so not too bad. Alright. Baelgar Ironhammer is ready, but we should have all of our siege equipment. Now, they have completely reworked how siege battles go. A lot of the tower buildings and the main objective points are now connected to the key buildings around the place. It's to make these a lot more in-depth. You can't just send sneaky units in and claim buildings, which I had never thought of, so derp on me, I guess. But we are going to take a typical dwarven approach to this and just get our infantry on the walls and start laying waste to everything. I mean, we're not dealing with too many orcs and goblins. They don't have a lot of archers. They also changed the way archers behave in this, so they'll fall back off the walls a little bit more readily. Okay, I really dislike dwarven cities when it comes to fighting them, because there's always these double-layered places. I hate that. I think what we might do is focus all of our forces and push through right here. And let's have you drop your tower. You grab it. You put your tower there. You put yours there. There. And you guys are Group 1. And our rangers are going to come in here. Get our engineer up in good enough range. Our 2 Thanes, Baelgar, and our Rune Lord. Alright, our miners. Now we're going to use the miners in exactly the way that they were originally intended, and we're going to try and sneak them in over here. Or we'll use them as bait. Alright, so where is our hammers? To that gate. You go there. You go there. Good, I actually got them on the right sides this time. I have a bad habit of putting the siege tower on the wrong sides. That doesn't really help us out much. You don't need to move much more forward. Rune Lord will go up. Send one Thane to one side, one Thane to another, and Baelgar up in the middle. just speed it up slightly. Lots we gotta pay attention to. However, by splitting their forces for just 2 of our units, they've made it much easier for us to claim victory here. Oh, it's not meant to someone else. And we can replenish ammunition when that's important. We're going to keep those for when we have artillery. Love how the dwarven siege towers are dwarf kings on oath stones. It's neat. You see, the goblins are already falling back. We are going to take these outer walls without too much difficulty. And we'll go Rune of Speed. And dwarf warriors are on the walls. Alright, looks like we have a combat here. These goblins are overmatched. Those guys are in. And Baelgar, let's get you up near the fight too.
For mountain and home! On the way! Strike out!
And we should probably check in with our miners. We're just now reaching the walls.
It is a reckoning! Ready to strike!
Alright, hammers go through. Our Rune Lord, Baelgar, and our set of dwarf warriors.
True king! Dwarf warriors! Let the vengeance begin! Strike out!
Alright, we've pretty much taken the walls at this point. Ooh, Retribution is up there already.
Move now! For the ancestors! Range far! Range fast! Going now! Dwarf warriors!
Alright, the gates are ours. Wow, our dwarf warriors with great weapons are really suffering up there. That's what happens when you see a dwarf character, though.
I keep my oaths. I suppose.
Those trolls are losing decisively.
Kill Orcs. Pass through. Dwarf warriors.
The enemy lord is down. Let's see about getting inside these walls.
Shieldbearers home. Dwarf warriors. Yes, yes.
No, it's a bit of a risk seeing Baelgar out on his own.
Dwarf ready to strike.
Let's have all of our dwarves engage these orcs over here. It's preventing them from getting into the real fight.
Lord of vengeance.
Alright, we'll break through there. You guys can come join those lords.
Pump those dwarfen legs! Without delay! To battle! Hammerers!
Alright, siege battles on major cities are definitely more potent.
Warriors!
The other neat thing now is that the towers, once broken, cannot be rebuilt.
Our fire undimmed! Very well! Kill Orcs! Yes!
Alright, not exactly the most tactically sound option we've had. But let's get over there and make sure the goblins and everything can't fight. Speed it up a little bit. Hopefully these barricades will fall. Alright, so those goblin archers are in major trouble. Let's turn it back to normal speed. Alright, those goblin archers are fleeing, but we need to start capturing some of these major points.
Ready! If you insist.
Baelgar, take your Thane,
Ancestors watch.
I guess your father, go deal with those orcs coming in.
Charge!
Oh, and our miners have actually done something decent.
Righto!
These orc boys down here are getting shredded. They do have armor piercing, I believe, but maybe miners are good now? I don't know. Haven't played around with enough.
Faster! Dwarf warriors! Move now! Charge!
Alright, so if we can outflank these guys, I think this is one of the situations where we're just gonna have to let time pass. We're getting now near the end of this episode. Let's end it. Our units took a fair amount of damage. I'm positive there's better ways I could have done that. But, yeah, it is what it is. And the Hammerers didn't kill that many people this time, which is surprising. It went down to one of our Dwarf Warrior units. I think what we're going to do for the naming convention is once a unit gets up to Gold Standard, triple, no, we'll go single Chevron Gold, then we'll start naming them ourselves. Alright, so 2,000 experience, some gold, and a Dawnstone. That's not bad. Physical resistance up. Take it. And we are definitely occupying this place. Physical resistance, income from income, which is always good. The vault's now secure. Broken nose are gone.
It shall be done.
Now, there is a special building here. What level do we have to be to make it? Number 2, Copper Mountain. Beneath the frozen glaciers of Karak Eight Peaks lie gargantuan lodestones of copper ore that lend this proud dwarfhold its name. So that's going to be awesome. And we don't even need to demolish the trinket maker because that is actually good for us. Now, do we have income on this one? Yeah, we want to be on growth. Getting these dwarfholds up so we can get up to stronger units quicker.
Baelgar Ironhammer.
Now, Baelgar himself, we're going to get full plate armor because we're going to be using him in combat a lot. Drementfh Hammer Fist is going to get... let's get him ballistic calibration because he's going to be with our rangers. Another unit on training.
Yes.
We are going to put it into... Oh, it's so tough. I want to do Cleanse Corruption. So we're going to need that. Now let's go Cleanse Corruption. And then again, into training. Get our units up in strength. We are making 2352 per turn. We need some more archers. So, rangers, let's actually do the math here. So, quarrelers with great weapons are slower and their melee defense is less. But they have better armor, better leadership, more hit points, better melee attack, better weapon strength, better charge bonus, and more ammunition than rangers. What is rangers good? They stock and vanguard deployment, armored, armor-piercing melee, decent melee combatant. So, and they're fast. So yeah, we're actually going to cancel the rangers, and we're going to get a couple of quarrelers with great weapons. That's going to be our bread and butter for right now. It's the same kind of idea. And let's check the time real quick. We're pretty close. So let's do our diplomacy, and then we can see how it works out. They're not liking us too much just yet.
What? Aye, to war.
Alright, we can't do any more with that. Alright, so that's going to do it for this week, guys. If you liked the video, please consider hitting that like button. If you'd like to join up with the 232, join me in this or other Let's Plays, just hit that subscribe button, and make sure you turn your notifications on so you don't miss when a new video goes out. Remember, guys, life is a game, so play to win, and until next time, take care.